We have to talk about Alex Sarr as he is the Wizards' secret weapon for the future of this team. He's acting as like this first option on the Wizards right now as he's been dropping a smooth 20 points per game at the top of my knowledge right now, okay? But we have to talk about him because he might not be the first option here in, a season or two. There could be guys that overtake him. Keyshawn George is a 3-level kind of guy. He can score anywhere on the court. He just has to show it consistently now. All right, you also have the upcoming draft. You can get a guy like Cam Boozer, AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, who all have that kind of first scoring option upside to them. And so Alex Sarr, even though he is acting as the first option this season, he is balling out. He's playing great right now as it is. It's just he's the secret weapon because you got a guy who is putting up first option numbers, all-star numbers, who is probably going to be the second or third option by the time this team is competing for a title. So we're going to go in and break down this video why Alex Sarr is this secret weapon and why I believe he is going to be the first all-star on the Wizards in a very, very long time. Okay, if you guys haven't been in this channel yet, welcome to Wizards Digest, a channel for all you diehard Wizards fans out there. I'm Bryson Akins. I'm a writer for Wizards on SI, so I'm a credentialed media member. I've been to games, covered this team, been in the locker room asking questions for the players, for Coach Keefe, been asking questions with Will Dawkins as well. And so I'm here to give you some inside information along with giving my opinion on stuff that is happening with the team, reporting on rumors, trade talks, whatever it may be, free agency signings when that comes around here in a few months, the NBA draft, as well as this draft is really important for the Washington Wizards. So if you guys don't want to miss a single beat of the Wizards this season and for future seasons, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. With that out of the way, let's go ahead, get into talking about Alex Sarr a little bit, okay? And Alex Sarr, as we know, as I mentioned earlier, he is putting up some insane numbers this season. He is putting up what I think is an all-star deserving season. Let's go ahead, take a look at his stats real quick here. He's averaging almost 30 minutes a game, but he's putting up 19 points, 8.5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, a steal per game, and only 2 turnovers and only 2 fouls. And his shooting splits have improved quite a ton from last season as well. He's shooting 51.5% from the field and 34.6% from beyond the arc. That's impressive. The fact he's shooting efficiently now, he's living inside, he's not taking the three as much, but when he is taking the three, he's knocking them down. As you can see, only 20% of all his shots are three-pointers, so he's not shooting them a ton, but he'll give you a pick and pop every now and then. He'll, set a screen, pop out, boom, wide open, hit it, even transition a few times. If he realizes there's a transition 3 opportunity, he'll take that chance. And it's not like he's shooting them when he's contesting now. He's shooting them when he's open and knows it's a high percentage shot. Unlike last season when he was trying to create a ton out there beyond, out the perimeter, and then take up these threes that are, contested that aren't good looks whatsoever, because it kind of felt like he was forced to do that last season. Whereas this season, he's been really focused on getting inside, and you can see it from these numbers right here, okay? And he's still super young. He's not even 21 yet, guys. He's not even 21, and he's putting up these kinds of numbers. So I've been really impressed with him this season, and he's looked like one of the best centers in the NBA and one of the best young players in the NBA as well. But, all right, we are the only ones that kind of think that, though. Us covering the Wizards, the fans of the Wizards, this kind of group, we're the only ones that kind of see what Alex Sarr is doing on a daily basis, because the Ringer recently put out their top 100 list, and Alex Sarr didn't even crack the top 50. Here he is. They had him as the 86th best player this season. This isn't a culmination of all his stats or reading what his potential can be. Only from what they have done so far this season, they had him as the 86th best player, which I feel like the only reason he is there is because of the team's record at the time. They only had 2 wins when they put this list out here. So that's why I think they have him as, like this low on that list, because of the fact that the team's not been doing so well. So they had him this low. When you look at what he's done, though, the stats, and we'll compare him to other players that were ranked ahead of him as well. When you look at the stats, he deserves to be in that top 50, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and take a look at something I wrote about it. Looking at his stats, Sarr is borderline top 50 player in the NBA and for sure a top 65 player. He has a great chance of making his first All-Star game this season, and there are not many better centers in the league this season. It just feels disrespectful to judge a player's ranking in the league based on a lack of wins. Another reason he was not ranked higher on their website was a lack of a three-point shot, even though, and this was at the time, the center was shooting 35.4% from distance on 3.2 attempts per game. So they said he didn't have an outside shot, but he was still shooting the three ball pretty well considering how many attempts he was taking as a center. So it didn't really make sense to me why they had him there for those reasons when, A, they weren't looking at records, but they judged him based off the team's record. So they deducted a few, ranking spots from him. Then they looked at three-point numbers like he's not a good three-point shooting big. But this season, he's been quite good from three-point. He's been shooting that three-point shot quite well this season. It was just last season he really struggled there. So it just feels like they haven't really been paying attention and watching the season. But there are some players that are ranked ahead of him. I'm well, why? It doesn't really make sense to have him ahead of him here. First one that they had ahead of him that, really caught my attention was Jarrett Allen. As you can see, Alex Sarr is dominating him in almost every single statistical category. The only two that, Jarrett Allen has that clear advantage over him in, and I wouldn't even say it's clear, but, you can make the argument of he is doing better than him for sure in these areas, are steals per game, okay, and then free throw numbers. Granted, Alex Sarr, he needs to get his free throw numbers up. I will say that much. But, other than that, Jarrett Allen isn't this league's above him center. I feel like when you look at the stats and how they've been playing and the impact they've had on their team, Alex Sarr is a much better player than Jarrett Allen has been this season. But it's not just him either. It's not just him. The next one, Miles Turner. I feel like Miles Turner only got this hype because he was recently in the finals and he's a he's a big that can shoot the three ball. I think that's why he got this hype a little bit, was the fact that, hey, he was just in the finals. He just signed a pretty big deal. Let's go ahead and rank him this high. When you're looking at the stats, it's a similar situation to what it was with Jarrett Allen. Alex Sarr was dominating in all of these categories besides really two. And, here, the gap between free throw numbers is closer between Sarr and Turner. It's just that three-point shot. Turner shooting at 6% better. Sure, all right. And then the steals per game, 1.1 compared to 0.7 again. I get that, okay, a little bit. But everywhere else, Sarr has been much better than Miles Turner this season. Another one, Rudy Gobert. Why are we still hyping up Rudy Gobert like he's, this top 5 center in the league when he's not even top 10 anymore? He's not top 10 anymore. The only reason his field goal percentage is higher than, Alex Sarr is because, A, he's not taking as many shots a game as Alex Sarr, and B, he's not shooting three-pointers, so he's just living down low and getting second chance opportunities off of offensive rebounds and lobs by Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels. That's it. That's the only reason his field goal percentage is that high. Okay? His rebounds per game, a little bit higher, yeah, but not by much. Everywhere else, though, Alex Sarr is dominating Rudy Gobert. He's been a much better player than him. And the last one, which you guys, might say, Bryson, this is a horrible take. What are you thinking, including this one here? That doesn't make any sense at all. But when you look at it, it was a ranking of this season. So let's look at this season's stats, not a culmination of any of, of the career. He has been better than Joel Embiid this season. The stats show it. Embiid has only been a for sure better scorer at 19.7 points per game compared to 18.7. And, these stats are a little bit skewed as it doesn't include the last game Alex Sarr did play against the Pacers, where he's now up to 19. So this gap has decreased a little bit more. But even then, it's not like, Joel Embiid's dominating him in any statistical category besides free throw percentage. That's really it. Sarr has been a better player this season than Joel Embiid. He's even been a better player, at least borderline. You can make the argument for Sarr being better than Mobley this season, and they had Evan Mobley at 16th on their list. I don't even think Evan Mobley's a top 30 player, but they had Alex Sarr at 86, and I think it's purely just because the team has struggled this season. The Wizards don't have a good record. That's the truth, all right? The Wizards are not a very good team this year, and that's okay because they're trying to get a top draft pick. But Alex Sarr has been dominant, though. He is an all-star. He is, but the media isn't recognizing it because, oh, it's the Wizards. Who's going to pay attention to a losing team? Well, you need to pay attention because in 2 to 3 seasons when Alex Sarr is the second or third option, dropping 25, 10 on you a night, along with 2.5 blocks per game on some pretty good shooting splits, you're going to be like, why, he just came out of nowhere when we've seen these numbers. This season is just a sign of what Alex Sarr can be when he's in the position to succeed like he is right now in Washington. So the future is scary for everyone in the league watching the Wizards because this can be a legit player in the East in 3 seasons, mainly because of Sarr, and if he continues to develop like this, because he is their secret weapon when they finally want to compete for an NBA championship. That's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys personally think about Alex Sarr this season. Do you guys think he's an all-star, or do you think he's still, one more season away from making that all-star game? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next one.